Reporter Catherine Wellman takes us behind the scenes into the rehearsal process.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The award-winning musical Urinetown is making waves at the University of Toronto. UC Follies, a theatre group of community actors and students, have begun rehearsing for their early 2009 debut. Director Neil Silcock says this year's production was chosen for its simplicity.
It's a relatively simple show in that there's nothing really crazy complex going on, but it's still a really great show. It's really funny. It's sort of sophomore humor.
Already halfway into rehearsals, Silcox and music director Tara Lickback have been impressed by the process so far.
They're very, very intensive, really have to, go through pitches like crazy and teach harmonies like crazy, but they've been going fine, just very intensive already, and hopefully it'll be good by the time of the show.
Although the resulting crew is excited about production, the directors admit audition turnout was low at the casting calls.
It was a little lower this year than we had expected before, and part of that was sort of miscommunication in our casting call, and a part of that also is that we weren't trying to reach out as much to the community outside of the university.
Now with a final cast, intensive rehearsals will continue into the new year. UC Follies production of Urinetown opens February 5th, 2009 at Hart House at the University of Toronto. For more information, visit uftix.com. For Observer TV News, I'm Catherine Wellman.
And that's all from me, but don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. I'm Ryan Sang for Entertainment. 3.5 million votes later, a Montreal dancer is now driving away with a hot set of wheels and a whole lot of coin. Nico Archambault became Canada's Dancing King last night on the first season of So You Think You Can Dance Canada. The 24-year-old walked away with $100,000 and a new Mercedes-Benz. He joined the other top 10 finalists in a 15-city Canadian tour. The tour starts January 30th in Vancouver. Well, it's no surprise here, Oprah Winfrey has been named entertainment's most powerful woman. The Hollywood Reporter released their annual Power 100 list Friday. Editors say Winfrey was chosen for her immense cultural influence. Case in point, the University of Maryland study found that her support for Obama won him more than 1 million votes. Other women on the list include Angelina Jolie at number 24 and Tina Fey at 51. GossipGirl.com is reporting this morning that David Beckham was involved in an incident with a paparazzo. Beckham's bodyguard jumped into action when the photog was pursuing the soccer star while driving. The bodyguard also allegedly threw the photographer's camera in the garbage. Police came shortly after to break the fight up. There's no word on charges. Well, the rain didn't stop people from lining up around the block at Yonge and Dundas. They were there for a chance to buy a piece from Japan's Comme des Garçons designer collection at H&M. Observer TV's Jill Clausen has the story.
We're here on November 13th at Yonge and Dundas Square, H&M, where
You're going so fast.
launching their collaboration with the retail giant. We're just waiting for the doors to open right now. There's a line stretched around the block, and people have been waiting here since 8:30 last night in this lovely, lovely rain that we're having.
The collaboration between H&M and Rei Kawakubo, the head designer for Comme des Garçons, was announced on October 7th. Kawakubo designed a men's and women's collection.
Yeah, I previewed the entire collection. There's a couple things I'm like queuing up for, that I'm crossing my fingers.
My daughter is 20 off and she took me here and I'm like, I'm excited though. 10 minutes. Some cocktails on it.
When the stores opened, over 200 Comme des Garçons fans rushed in. The Swedish retailer has worked with many high-end designers in the past, like Karl Lagerfeld and Stella McCartney. Each time a collection is released, it sells out almost immediately. Within a few hours, it was difficult to find any Comme des Garçons merchandise left on the racks.
This is Jill Clausen, Observer TV News.
Taking a look at the weekend numbers at the box office, For Christmas starring Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn topped the list for the second week in a row. The movie rated $8 million. Vampire flick Twilight came in second at $13 million. Bolt, starring John Travolta and Miley Cyrus, landed the third slot with just under $10 million. It's okay. And that wraps up this week's look at entertainment. Now let's send it over to the A-Team, Abby and Andrew, for a look at sports.
Welcome back, and hello everyone. I'm Andrew Serba with Abby Crosby, and here's the latest in sports. First up, England's cricket team is ready to head back to India for a 2-test series. The series was put on hold after the terrorist attacks in Mumbai. Executives of the Professional Cricketers Association consulted with security experts in India and gave the test the go-ahead. The first will take place on Thursday in the city of Chennai. The second is tentatively scheduled for December 19th. Giles Clark, president of the England Cricket Board, told BBC Radio that the board is determined not to let terrorism do the game of cricket harm. 19-year-old Michelle earned herself a spot on the LPGA Tour yesterday. The top 20 players in the qualifying tournament in Daytona Beach were all guaranteed spots on next season's tour. Ending the tournament at 12 under par, Wee tied for 7th place. Last year, her game was hampered by a nagging wrist injury. She told media yesterday that her top 10 finish feels like a fresh start. In the Canadian curling world, Wayne Middaugh won his 8th Grand Slam title yesterday. He defeated Brad Gushue at the National Curling Tournament 4-3. Middaugh is second in curling titles only to Edmonton's Kevin Martin. Martin currently holds 13 championship titles. Middaugh took home $24,000 for his win. Cycling great Lance Armstrong is getting ready to make his return next year. Armstrong told the media that a passion for racing and promoting his charitable foundation have prompted him to come out of retirement. His first race will be in the Tour Down Under in Australia. He will be 2 months away from his 38th birthday when the tour starts. Attempts in Toronto to make bike sharing a popular way to commute have come and gone. A new system developed in Montreal is showing Torontonians that bikes can be a convenient way to get around. Bryden Suits has the story.
Montreal's parking authority brought their homegrown bike-sharing system, Bixi, to Toronto for people on the street to get a look at and try out. The parking authority's vice president said the system was the result of a need for a more active, eco-friendly way to get around town.
It started with the transportation plan that the city of Montreal put ahead last year. A big place was for active transportation, and bicycle sharing was part of that.
Toronto councillor Adrian Heaps wants a bike sharing program in the city next year. He has not said what kind of system they will go with. From the outset, Bixi's creators wanted their system to be easy for commuters to use.
You'll have a little key like this, and you'll be able to unlock the bike just by putting it in right away. So kind of like this. Just put it in, and when the signal is green, you just take the bike out and you leave and you do your ride. And once you're done, you go back to another station and you just put it in, and the bike locks up by itself, just like that.
Bixi's sleek design and user-friendly nature could offer commuters another way to get around Toronto's busy downtown core. Bike sharing in Toronto has not had a successful history. The buzz Bixi brought with it may just be the push it needed.
I mean, I ride my bike regularly, but if I happen to be, downtown without my bike and I needed to get somewhere quickly, I think that I would use this.
Where other plans have failed in the past, this new plan seems to have wheels. This is Bryden Suits